Hi, my name is Vince Giacchi, and I want to talk about my life when I was a kid. I came from a family, my parents were very controlling. They didn't want me to... Actually, it's funny because I was born in the Italian section of Greenwich Village, and my grandmother was good friends with Vito Genovese's mother. And my mother she was a very beautiful girl, and the guys in the neighborhood were trying to hit on her, and my grandmother went up to Mike Miranda, who was Vito Genovese's right-hand man, and told him, and the next thing you know, nobody would look at my mother when she was walking down the street. So then they moved up to 51st Street because my mother, this is funny, because my mother, she says, I don't want to raise my kid in a gangster neighborhood, she says, so 51st Street was a pretty mellow neighborhood. You know, there was two sides to the street, where the rich people were on one side and the middle class were on the other side. The rich people had the elevators and we had the stairs. So anyway, when I wound up getting into the streets, I was very skinny, and I was also very belligerent. I was a skinny little fuck that was always looking for attention, so I'd get people crazy and they chased me and beat the shit out of me, you know. So I got beat up in the neighborhood, and then I went to school, and then the big guys in the neighborhood beat the shit out of me. Then I went home at night, and then my father, if I did something wrong, he'd give me a smack. So I'm thinking to myself, this is not a life, this is a fucking survival, man. This is bullshit. So this guy, Louis DeMarco, it's funny, Louis used to wear the peg pants and before it even became fashionable. And he always picked on me. He picked on me and my friend Johnny and my friend Ralphie. Always picked on us, They were all the big guys. They used to torture us. They had ways of torturing us. So one night we're in the park, and this guy, Louis DeMarco, sees me, and I said, oh, fuck. I said, this ain't the place to be, man. And he came up to me, and he started pushing me and calling me names, you skinny little fuck, you know, something snapped in my head. And I lashed out at this guy, and I jumped on him. And I started throwing machine gun punches, knocking the shit out of him. I jumped on top of him. I was trying to kill him, and his friends were shocked because they were 5 years older than us. Mm-hmm. They were looking, and then they pulled me off, and my friends went like and you want to laugh? After that fucking day, nobody picked on me anymore. In fact, they let me hang out with them, the older guys, which was my downfall. You know, I dressed like them, I talked like them, I acted like them, and I started picking the guys that were picking on me in school. I got even with them one at a time, and I beat the shit out of them. I didn't even realize that I could fight so good, and that was the beginning. It was actually the beginning of my downfall.
The beginning of the end. The beginning of the end.
Yeah.
It's funny, you said before that you were a small, like sort of belligerent guy, always wanted to get his way. That never changed.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Just keep it to talking, okay?
Yes, talking.
Talking.
All right.
Bastonade right here.
He's my barber, so I have to be careful.
Oh yeah. In fact, I want to shave you.
My nickname for him is Sweeney Todd.
Okay. There you go. So they didn't pick on you anymore because you were a complete and crazy lunatic.
They saw me go at this fucking guy. That they saw something in me, so that's why they let me hang out. They taught me all the tricks on how to be a tough guy, how to wear your hair, the clothes, and that started it. And then before you know it, I was robbing and stealing, and then I went up the river for 3 years, and then I came out of there and I met the guys in Little Italy. The party was over after that, because then once I got to understand, because I was a gang kid, I belonged in a gang. I didn't know nothing about La Cosa Nostra or the mob. And
what was the name of the gang that you were in at the time?
the Italian. Wait, what the?
Red pant, the red.
The Italian. Wait, the Italian Dukes, I think,
Italian
something
Dukes,
like that. Yeah. Oh, we used to fight the Comanche Dragons.
That's it, the Comanche Dragons.
Hey, we fought the Comanche Dragons. We fought the Sportsmen. We had a fight with the Fordham Baldies on the fucking.
Oh,
side.
Really? I know the Fordham Baldy.
We
I think what's his name was the guy you did the movie for.
back in the 50s.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
so.
back in the 50s, it was all gangs. Do you remember that guy, the Puerto Rican guy? They call him the Umbrella Man.
No.
Well, it was in the paper. They had killed some guy in another gang, and but it was always gangs.
It's like West Side Story. The Puerto Ricans
Well,
came
that's where
over.
they
And
got- that's-
Nicky Cruz.
Well, I got news for you. They copied West Side Story from the actuality, and it was that the Italians always fighting the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah. Irish were involved too. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
So, did you see The Wanderers, the movie?
I saw that, yeah.
The what?
The Wanderers.
The Galasso brothers.
The Galasso
That
brothers.
was like a comedy, though.
Yeah, but you know.
That was Ken Wall's first movie.
Yes, it was.
Leave the little guy alone.
Leave the kid alone.
The kid, that's it. You got it.
Leave the kid alone.
Leave the
That was a
kid
great line. I mean,
That was a funny.
me and my brother were both in that movie. They shot it at Fordham, on Fordham Road. We were going to Fordham University at the time. Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting. Like when he's talking about that, it's like the dynamic. Like we were talking before that if there are definitely chromosomes involved in this because you were saying there's some people that come, everyone in the family's a gangster. This son becomes a priest,
Yeah.
and everyone else goes to jail, bad. And then you meet some guys who go, "Hey, don't mess with Joey. You know, he's little bots."
Joe Watts.
Yeah, Joey Bots.
Joey Bot.
And
Everybody has I had a Joey Bots in my
Joey Watts.
Here's a great Italian saying. You remember the guys that wear the pants up here? I said, hasn't Joey put on some weight? What the fuck you talking about? He's a bull. But his fucking pants are up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. We used to wear the pants up to here with the.
Even though he's fat, nah, he's not fat. He's a bull.
But Vince, you didn't know you had it, but you had it in you to go crazy.
I guess so.
You did, obviously.
Because there was a time where when I really got involved with the guys downtown, that I was becoming psychotic. Where everything I talked about was making money, hit that guy, fuck that guy, this guy. It was always mob shit was in my head, and
Well, that's sort of a personality and goal-directed change in your life, and you didn't want to get picked on anymore, right?
yeah.
So for the first time, you felt powerful, right?
I feel that I'm a victim of PTSD. I really feel it because I have some really strange dreams sometimes, but the shit that I went through in the joint, because the guards used to beat the fucking shit out of us every chance they got. See, we stood on the back wall with all the Italian guys, and the guards were all these fucking redneck motherfuckers, and they had it out for us.
They didn't like Italians.
They had it out for us. If we got in a fight, see, if you got in a fight, we always fighting the black guys up there. You know, and I got friends that are black today. I have no problem, you know, but up there, when you're in Rome, you do that. And the black guys up there were crazier than we were. They used to walk around with bandanas in their pocket, one red one and one blue one. You know what that meant?
What?
Because it was good boy killers, because we were called the good boys on the back wall, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens.
Okay.
And we were like gunslingers. We were after them, they were after us. But when you had a fight up there, when they broke up the fight, they didn't break up the fight. The guards would come near you and smash you in the fucking face or hit you with a baton, and that was it. And then they start beating the shit out of you.
But the whole point, from a law enforcement perspective, is that prison is supposed to change your mind about this kind of lifestyle. Did it do that?
Let me tell you something.
Made it worse.
When I was a newspaper editor, we had a series of articles, and it was called "Prisons, Universities of Crime," where people basically you go and you become better criminals.
Oh yeah. Well,
Come out, you become better criminals.
well, when I got up there, I learned a little bit about everything. I knew guys up there that were doing robberies. One guy was trying to teach me how to fucking do a Pete, a safe, which I never did. My friend Junior did it, but too much. It's too dirty, man. You know, you get all fucking dirty.
Okay, but you came out of prison more of a criminal.
Well, it was a reformatory, but it was worth. See, Kaksaki, Walter Winchell, during the war, listen what he wrote in his column. If your son is in Korea, you send him a package. If your son is in Kaksaki, you send him a prayer. Wow. That's how fucking bad it was up there. Oh, it was.
And this is a youth detention center?
It was the worst. A couple of guys would get shipped to Sing Sing for physical things like opera, and they'd stay there. And we used to pray we say, geez, I wish they'd send us the sinks in.
You think the guards ever sexually abuse some of the young kids up there?
Well, that I never saw. I never saw guards sexually, but I saw guards beat when they put me in the kitchen, they put me in the kitchen to kill me. They wanted to kill me.
But you won, didn't you? Because you're still here.
No, I won. Not only that, I won them over.
So how did you win them over in the kitchen?
Well, here's the deal. I was, see up there, if you really fuck up, they put you in a strippo cell, 5 days strippo. And then if you really fuck up, they give you a bed in 5 days, and you're up there in the hole, but the hole is up on the roof, all right? And then what you do, they put you on the cold gang, where if it's summer, you go short sleeve. Winter, they give you a big sheepskin thing. You go on this fucking cold gang, and it's like a pyramid. And you got to shovel the fucking coal in the wheelbarrow, go up the fucking wheelbarrow, go to the end and dump it. You got to do this for 7 fucking hours. When you come out of there, you're black with soot from fucking coal. So I'm in the fucking assigned for the 3rd time now, which is crazy because I'm doing most of my time in solitary. So this kid that comes up with the food, he gives me a wire, a kite. It's called a kite, but it's a wire. He says, look, he says, when you get out of this fucking assign next week, going back to population, they're going to put you in the kitchen. And you know what? You know, a few guys went in that kitchen, they never came out of it alive. They want you to fucking go in there, they're going to give you shit to do, and they want you to go and tell them to go fuck themselves, like you always did it for the last 2 years, and they're going to really fuck you up. So I'm there that night, I'm shaking in my fucking boots, because I remember who the guy was that was running the kitchen. His name was Ringwood. They called him Beef Face. He had a big he must have been hitting booze like it was going out of style. So I go out of the fucking assign, they put me into the kitchen division, which is C2. I go into the kitchen, it was in the afternoon kitchen, and this guy Ringwood says to me, Chachi, come over here, I want to talk to you. So I go in his office. I says, these motherfuckers are going to start clubbing me right away. I go in the office and he says, you know what, Chachi? He says, you're a real fuck up. And my first thought was I wanted to hit him or take his eyes out. But here's
Those are two very natural things for boys to think about.
No, but here's the fucking deal. I'm holding my temper, you know, because I have a bad temper. I had a bad temper.
So I hear.
Yeah, no kidding.
So anyway, he's telling me what a fuck up I was, and I said, well, now, Chachi, you're in the kitchen now, and we're going to straighten you out. And I was holding it in because I wanted to kill this motherfucker. You know, I really want. So I guess what? The first day in the kitchen, they put me on these fucking sinks. The sink is about 15 feet long. In this sink is fucking pots that you could take a bath in. Skillets with oars. They cook with oars up there because they cook in these vats like they're cooking for 400 people. So they cooking baked beans in a vat with the fucking oars. And when I saw those oars, the first thing I wanted to do is pick up the oar and hit them with the fucking oar. But see, no, I'm keeping it real.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So anyway, I look at this fucking.
What I think about when I see
I look at
I
this.
want to smack somebody in the head.
Nobody asked you. I'm looking at this fucking sink, and I'm going.
You got to talk to them too, by the way,
Sorry.
just so you know.
I'm trying to.
sorry.
Well,
I know,
I'm trying to be
but-
focused on. Okay, I'm going to look.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially Frank.
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Frank doesn't break my balls. So. Okay, so I'm looking at this sink, and I'm saying I started crying.
Did you know what a sink was at that time?
Huh?
Did you know what a sink was then? All right, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's all right.
What are you, a fucking comedian? You know, you really.
I thought you washed in the
You're
rain.
really
or
fucking
something.
with me today.
I
You know?
thought you washed in the rain or something.
All right. Anyway, come on, get serious here.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this thing. I said, I can't do this. There's enough fucking. I mean, it took an army to do this, and he gives me this steel wool, and he says to me, "Here, I got some more steel wool." He says, "I'm going to be back in an hour, and I'm going to check this, and see if you cleaned it up real good." And now my first thought was, well, I'm not going to do it. When he comes back, I'm going to tell him to go fuck himself and let him do what they got to do.
And that's going to be
And
the
you
end
know,
of Vince
one
Giacchi?
one thing about me, I could always take a trimming. I mean, they used to use me for a punching bag up there, the guards. And I'd laugh at them. I'd spit at them. Because I think that's why I'm a little.
Not wise.
Well, I know. I think there's something missing up here sometimes.
Still is.
So, come on, man.
So go ahead.
You still swim in that fucking pool? All right. See, we're not supposed to be laughing here. That's,
But not, no.
all right.
I think that was a little bit of a threat there.
Yeah, I think so.
Sleeping
What, are you
with the
threatening
fishes or
me?
something.
You talking to me?
I don't make threats.
Go.
All right.
Keep going.
Okay, come on. Let's get serious. So anyway, I'm doing this sync thing now for a month, and I got used to it after a while. And he started to lighten up. His smile once in a while. He had that.
Did you do a really good job on the
I
pots?
was so good that first time I did it, he came by, he had a white glove on, and he went like this, and that fucking glove. See, I'm a street guy. I don't listen to what you tell me. I look at your fucking eyes, and I can tell if you're lying. And I even look at your Adam's apple, and I can tell. There's ways I can tell if you're lying.
Okay.
And he came over to the sink, and he went like this. And when he went like that with the glove, he went like this. And then he went back to that look. I says, I got this motherfucker. I says, I can.
Great, I love this.
I says, I can do this. So he gets me on the sink for a month. All right. After the sink thing, he calls me over to the office. He says, Chachi, he says, now, he says, you did what I asked you. You did a good job. He says, I'm going to put you on extras. I said, wow, extras is good because every day you do a different job. You work with the cooks. You work with this, with that. It's never boring, yeah? Yeah, little did I know. There was a steam table, all right? Steam table was about maybe 10 feet long. Underneath the fucking steam table, inside, if they cut you open, your fucking intestines can go on for a mile.
Okay.
This was a sink. Underneath was copper intestines, and they were wrapped around each other. And the fucking intestines that were under the sink, the copper, it was all green and corroded, from years and years of. So anyway, he comes over to me. He said, "Hey, Chachi, here's some more steel wool." I says, he says, "See those pipes under there?" He says, "I want you to make them look like this pipe over here." Now then again, I saw the pipe. I wanted to take it out of his hand and whack him with it.
Frank, you got to tell him to stop doing that.
I know.
So anyway, I said to myself, the sinks was a joy compared to this. And I have fucked up knees right now, and I guarantee you, between the cold gang and fucking
You think it started from that?
and being on my fucking knees, I was on my knees all 8 hours doing those fucking pipes. I did one pipe, it took me almost 5 hours to do. And I had about a month's worth of pipes down there, easy. So I'm doing the fucking pipes. My hands were, after a while, they didn't even bleed anymore. They were like calloused, I would go back to my cell at night because in the morning I had another detail, which was mopping the floors in the place. That place was immaculate, by the way. And I hit that fucking pillow at night. I wouldn't wash up or anything. I would drop on that pillow and go to sleep immediately. The next morning I wake up, and you're waking up and you say, "Oh, isn't this going to be a great day?" First I'll be mopping.
More pipe.
First I'll mop all fucking morning, and then in the daytime I'll get on my fucking knees and give head to those fucking pipes.
That's how you were cleaning them?
So anyway,
Just asking.
so anyway, now listen to this. This is where things. I'm doing these pipes. They're all done. I look at those pipes. I said, I did a good job. If Ringwood comes over, he used to check them at night before I get it. He made like he wasn't looking at the pipes ever. And he walks over to the pipes. He goes, "Oh my God!" He says, "Wow, that's beautiful, man." And he smiles at me. I said, "Is this fucking Ringwood?" Because he was a sour prick. And he says to me, "Well, Chachi," he says, we took you in this kitchen. We were going to lay you out, man. We were praying that you were going to get nasty with us and we were going to really fuck you up. Instead, everything I gave you to do," he says, you did it, and you didn't complain, and you made it, you did really good." He says, "Now I'm going to put you on the cooks." Now, the cooks, now you're cooking. You're cooking with the cooks because that's the best job in the kitchen. Well, there's not yet. So there's the third cook, the second cook, and the first cook. So of course I got put on the third cooks at first, which was just getting stuff for them. And then on Sunday I had to go up into the fucking, into the pipes, into the like a vents. I had to clean the grease out of the vent. And I'm saying, this is a fucking job? I said, this is it. This is
punishment.
But listen to this. The first cook gets into a fight. Now he goes into the hole. When he comes back into population, he doesn't get the cooks anymore. He goes back on the sinks like I did when I first got. So this second cook becomes, the second cook becomes first cook. I become second cook. Now I got a good job, because the third cook's got to do all the dirty work. The second cook cooks with the dietitian and with the. Now everybody and another day in the kitchen, every day there's a new guard, and they change their uniforms to what color it is to a white uniform, and they start talking to me like I'm one of them, you know. And these are the guards that used to beat the shit out of me.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what's the best job that a kid, an inmate can have?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So now, I'm second cook. Oh, well, the first cook goes home. His max is up. I become first cook. Now, I get to be real tight with the little dietitian that worked up there. I don't want to cry now, because every time I mention his name, I want to cry. I love that little guy. He was like a father to me. He used to mentor me and talk to me, you know. You know, look what you did in this kitchen. You could go out in the world. He says you could get any job you want. You got the guts to do it. You know, and I felt good, because nobody ever talked good to me. Nobody.
Was he a lifer?
Huh?
The guy that.
No, he was a civilian.
He was the dietitian.
No, he was a civilian. So now, listen to the. Yeah,
Talk to him.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so used to looking at him.
I know, you should stop.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, no
I'm
problem.
sorry, buddy. I gotta look at you.
Story's getting intense.
So anyway, so the little dietitian's a civilian, and so I'm first cook now, right? Now I got 6 months left of my maximum sentence, which is nothing. I could do that on my head.
Yeah.
But I got to go to the parole board, and Ringwood grabs me. And he puts his arm around me like he's my father. And he says, you're going to the parole board tomorrow. He says, I'm really writing some great stuff for you. But he says, you know, you got a folder. Like, I had a folder this thick with the shit I did the first 2 years. I mean, you could have made a book out of that fucking thing. Riots, this, that. So I said, you know.
How old are you then?
Huh?
How old are you when you're in?
17, no. Yeah, I was 17.
Oh, you're a kid.
No, I was 8.
You're a
Wait a
juvenile.
minute. I went away in 1959, October 1st, 1959. So I think I was 18 at the time. Yeah, 18. So I go to the parole board, and they look at me, and this lady was there. She says, Mr. Chachi says, I'm amazed at you. I said, oh, here he comes. I'm going to get fucked real, you know. Because you know what they did to some guys? They got their parole, and then they threw them in a fucking hole for the 6 months remainder. Oh yeah, they used to tell the parole board to go fuck themselves. I mean, I had a friend of mine. He had a fucking year left in the fucking to go in the jail. They gave him the fucking year. He said, you know what? Fuck you in your ass. He tells them, and they threw him in the fucking hole for a year. I mean, I said, forget that. So, but what she said by being amazed that I turned my life around. They said, she says, you were like a maniac up here in the first 2 years, and now Mr. Ringwood says you've changed your life. He gave you all these tasks to do, and you passed them. He says, and he says, when you go out in the world, he says, you got a chance. You could do anything you want, you know. And he says, but I got to tell you, the bad news is we're giving you your maximum sentence. And I said to him, 6 fucking months, you know. And he says, Mr. Ringwood gave you great write-up, but look, they showed me this folder.
It doesn't really balance out the prior history.
They say, we don't have the time to read all this to you. I said, but yeah, I said, I know what I did, you know, and I was real grateful, and I told the lady, thank you, ma'am, and thank you very much. And they said, you know, you got a good shot when you come out in the world. So now I go back into the kitchen. Ringwood puts his arm around me, and he says, well, he says, Chachi, He says, now, he says, we're really going to give you a reward. He says, you're such a skinny fuck. He says, I don't know where you get all your energy from. So he says, we're going to give you the ice box. Now, the ice box, that's the best job in the kitchen. You got 3 ice boxes. One ice box is the fucking milk that comes from the dairy. You know, those big canisters?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got to take it off the wagon, put it in the fucking first ice box, and you're done. You can go in the rec room, sit there, do what you want. Now, if you want to eat something, you go into the second ice box. You can make a malted, you can make a sandwich, you could do... See, if they catch you, by the way, eating in the kitchen, like you sneak something, they'll throw you in the hole. But see, I had the ice box, right? Now, the third ice box was more food, meat, and everything. And what my job was, at nighttime, I would load up the cart with the food, because we got to feed the people in the hole, which is upstairs, you know. And they eat the same stuff as they do in population. So you got this big cart, and you got trays, you got canisters that have this, and you got it up there. And the guards, you and the guards make the plates for the inmates. And then they open up one door at a time, they give you the plate, they close it, this, and then after that, you take all the plates back to the cart, you go downstairs, you clean up the cart, and you're done. You're done. You sit in the rec room, you play poker, you play cards, whatever you want to fucking do. So I'm eating, and I'm fucking drinking Maltese, and I'm doing this, and Ringwood says, he says, you're eating. He says, you're eating, but you're still a skinny fuck. My metabolism couldn't gain me weight, right? So he says to me, well, he says, you'll be home in about 3 months. He says, you know, and he had to, he used to talk to me like I was his son. He wanted to kill me.
You want him over.
Huh?
You want him over.
Yeah, but I felt good about doing it.
I have a question. At any time when it got near the end, because I never asked you this before, but when it was near the end and your time was almost up, did you ever say to yourself, you know, well, I'm never coming back here again, and I'm going to go straight and not commit any more crimes, or did you think like, as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to like do the crimes better?
Yeah, well, something like that. Because
So you learned nothing.
well, what I did is I memorized about 20 fucking phone numbers. You know, I memorized that toast, that toast that's in there, Longshoe Sam, Cocaine Smitty. That's a 6-page fucking toast. I figured if I can memorize that, I can memorize Charlie Marini, Blackie Russo, Frankie Marino, all these guys' numbers, because their fathers and grandfathers, see, these guys, their uncles or their fathers were wise guys. So when they get visits, they would tell their father, you know, this kid is fucking, he's a lunatic, this fucking kid. He's not afraid of nothing. So the guys would say to me, hey, when you go out in the street, I want you to look up my father. And I didn't know shit about the mob, nothing. He says, you know, that you go down to Little Italy and you talk to so-and-so, you talk to so. So I memorized these numbers. And when I got out, I called all these numbers and I went downtown. Yeah, that first thing I wanted to do was make money.
What did your parents think at this time?
Oh, they were, what I put them through was.
Like when you got out, were they there, okay, thank God he's learned his lesson?
No,
Then you hit the streets
no, because
right
the
away,
first
right?
week I was out, they saw that I was.
So you never really learned your lesson.
Oh no.
No, he learned lessons, but it
But yeah,
wasn't
not
the
the
lesson
lesson
that
that-
they wanted to teach you, right?
Didn't adapt.
Not the lesson to come back.
My mother, what I put that poor lady through was, I wanted to see. I hate to tell you this, but I never liked my parents, because when I was a kid, they put me through the fucking ringer.
A lot of kids didn't like their parents.
All right, but
Sometimes
I wanted,
justifiably,
What if,
sometimes
when
not.
I tell you this, you're going to think I'm a whack job, but I was trying to get even with them by being bad. I was being spiteful. I wanted to be bad, but I wanted to do it to hurt them.
So you basically
Because
internalized
today
it.
I think about that. See, I'm in the program now, and I think about it, the love that I have for my mother and father. Yeah, they did, but you got to look at, like you were saying, you got to look at where it comes from. Look where they came from. Right. So they did the best they could, and they gave it to you. Now me, I have a daughter. I could do the same thing with her, but I turned it around by getting sober. See, I could turn around and treat my daughter the way they treated me as a kid. You know, the only thing is she'd probably shoot me if I did it.
But do you think, I'm sorry, do you think drugs and alcohol totally altered your mind?
Oh, fuck
Did
yeah.
it make you even more aggressive?
Oh, you put cocaine and alcohol in me, it's like, what Russian roulette.
It's like Clint Eastwood in Unforgiving. When he takes a drink, you go, uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
When I was doing cocaine and alcohol at the same time, when I was running that gambling club in New York, I mean, I was like, I thought I was on top of the world, but I mean, it's like I'd heard once in the rooms, in the AA room, somebody had said, cocaine or booze gives you wings to fly, and then it takes away the sky. And that was my life.
All right, I want to interject on this. I didn't finish the story now. Okay. So the day of my release, I'm excited now. And Ringwood had a tear in his eye. He puts his arms around me. He says, "You know what? He says, I didn't cry for him. I cried for the little old man when he died, but I didn't cry for him. So I said goodbye. I put on my the suit that I went away on. And I got on the bus, and as the bus left the institution, I looked around, and I went, bye-bye. I remember, bye-bye. And when the bus turned around and it went through the tunnel, I could see the skyscrapers of New York, and I said, wow, I fucking arrived, man. I'm back. I went to Times Square, I had 2 pieces of pizza, they had a Grant's hot dogs. Bought all the hot dogs at Grant's. I had a hot dog at Grant's, I had 2 beers. I said, yeah, I'm fucking back, man. I got on the subway and went to see my folks, and when I got there, it was Astoria. They had moved from 51st Street to Astoria, and my mother started crying, tears.
And did you ever have even the slightest thought of, I just learned how to run a kitchen to, I could be a
yes.
restaurateur now?
No, when I was up there, that's what the old man said to me, I'm going to write a certificate for you. When you go out on the street, you're going to, you could get a job in a restaurant. And then I said to myself, you know what? Fuck this tough guy shit. First of all, I'm not a tough guy anyway. I'm an imposter. Because I was always afraid that people would find out I'm really not a tough guy, so I acted always like a tough guy.
Overdid it.
Yeah, I overdid it. So I'm looking at the certificate. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to be a fucking chef.
There you go.
I'm going to be a chef. I'm going to be a legit guy. I'm going to be a civilian. I'm going to do good. Yeah. The minute I hit the fucking streets, the minute I made that one phone call, that was it. It was over.
Really?
I went downtown. I met these guys. I saw the way they dressed, and I said, "Ooh, look at the way." Because I was dressing.
Clothes were important to you, right?
They always. But I always used to wear in the 50s. Remember the 50s? The pants were tight.
Oh, yeah.
They had the high shoes.
Peg pants, Cuban heels.
No, the peg pants were before that. Way before.
Cuban heels.
I'm talking about the way the jitterbugs used to dress with the tight pants and the high shoes.
Yeah. Continental.
So I dressed continental. Yeah, I had the suits with the skinny tie. But once I started hanging out with, down in Little Italy, I started making up my slacks, silk slacks, mohair, Italian knit shirts.
That was the look?
Silk suits, fucking wraparound overcoats, the hats tilted to the side. I mean, I had fucking underwear that matched all my clothes.
So you have definitely stood out at Woodstock.
Oh.
Like
but
shark skin. Hey, don't.
But I dressed better than the gangsters did because I spent all my money buying clothes. I spent a fortune on those. I had every color, mohair pants, silk suits, sport jackets. We used to shop at Layton's, Phil Cromfield, Cy Martin, Barney's. I mean, the
Barney's
best.
is a good store.
Yeah, but the other places were even like Layton's. We go to Layton's, we put down a score. We go to Layton's, they have a sport jacket, burgundy sport jacket, burgundy mohair pants, burgundy alligator shoes. We'd go in there and go, give us that fucking window. We're buying that window.
And nylon socks, the see-through bones.
and the garters had to hold up the socks.
I wore garters. I'm thinking about it. I'm 13 years old. My father goes, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I got these, they're garters. And they had 2 things, held up your socks.
Yeah.
Banlon socks. But the thing, and Banlon shirts were big then.
No,
Banlon were stretchy, but if a cigarette ash fell on it.
I don't know. I think it was around the time, around when I was late teens. I think his Rayon came out. Rayon came out, and rayon is made from wood. It's like wood chips. So
Yeah.
they make it,
Yeah, but the shirts were Italian knits. That's what
I
we
remember
were.
it did. They buttoned down
it
the
was
front
rayon.
and
Italian knit
knit.
shirts made of rayon.
You know what else we used to get? We used to get the long collars. made
Silk
up.
or rayon?
Yeah, high boys.
No, we had the high boys, but we
But
had
long.
We had the like in
Baron
I never wore
collars.
those. I never wore those.
Like
I
Dean
wore-
Martin collars,
Okay,
they
let me
call
tell
it.
you something. The movie Goodfellas.
It was before my time.
Let me tell you, the Goodfellas, the old timers used to wear the long ones, but they were wearing, the young guys were wearing the real one. They were long collars, but they weren't that long.
No.
You know, but we had them all made up with the monogram and everything.